Welcome in. You're listening to Medical Spa Insider, presented by the American Med Spa Association. This week, AmSpa founder Alex Thiersch is live in studio to talk SkinSpirit with COO Jennifer Seisler and our friend George Baxter-Holder.
All right, everybody, welcome to the podcast, to Medical Spa Insider. Very, very, very excited. This is a big day, big night for us here at AmSpa. We are in the official AmSpa clubhouse now. This is what we've been. This has been kind of a labor of love for us. This is the training center that we've been working on now for, I don't know, 8 to 10 years or something like that. I'm joking, but we are finally kind of open and operating. And I'm sitting here with George Baxter-Holder, our good friend, old friend, GBH, VP of Talent?
VP of Talent
Development. Talent Development with SkinSpirit, and Jen Seisler, COO of SkinSpirit.
Correct.
And so excited because we're doing a cadaver training with SkinSpirit tomorrow morning, starting all day through AIA and Dr. Surik. And we've got all the band back in town in our training center, which is currently being set up. And we're doing a podcast now. And I'm telling you, it's all kind of weird and exciting. And it's so cool to have you guys here. Thank you for coming. How are y'all feeling? How you feeling, Jen? Tell me how you feeling.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us here. I mean, this is thrilling for me. I've never been to a training like this before. So this is, a first to see all these medical tables and knowing that the, cadaver heads are going to be out there in the morning. It's pretty overwhelming and very cool to see. Now I kind of get, what the thrill is for our providers. It's a really special arrangement and ability to do this.
Starting to happen too. It's so cool.
Yeah.
George, this is nothing for you.
Alex, we've been doing this for a while and I am thrilled. I'm thrilled for AmSpa. I'm thrilled for SkinSpirit. The providers that are going to be here are providers that have never had hands-on anatomy training.
Yeah.
And so this really takes, I really think that this up levels the education at SkinSpirit as well. So I'm just like walking around the office and getting to meet your new COO or CEO, Adam. And it's really exciting to watch the growth of our organization. When I say our organization, I'm talking about our industry, our medical specialty, and med spa. The Med Spa Association is the driver of that. So I really appreciate you.
It's I appreciate that. And it's been, from my perspective, I've known Lynn almost as long as you. I think I've known you longer. But Lynn Hubline, who's the CEO of SkinSpirit, and SkinSpirit is, I have to say, and I tell this to everybody, and so I'm an unabashed fan because truly I find you all to be the gold standard for what it means to be a multi-location medical aesthetics. I want to say chain, but I mean, that's, multi-location medical aesthetics. But the reason I think that is so, what you've built is so amazing is because of the quality. And what's always been difficult in this industry, unlike Starbucks, whatever it is, name your typical franchise chain type thing, is this is a very, very sophisticated area where you're dealing with things that are not, that are not easily duplicated. And I've always been impressed with how SkinSpirit has been able to take not only from a safety perspective, but just a culture and a training perspective. And I feel like you've always been that way, George, from the very beginning. You've personified that. And to be able to duplicate that over and over again has been incredible. Jen, I guess I'll ask you this, what's the secret sauce? How are you able to build that from one location to the next? And safety is important, obviously.
Yeah.
Training is important, but how do you keep that culture? Yeah.
Important,
how do you
right?
do that? It's so hard. And you guys have mastered it, I feel like.
Thank you. I think one of the things that really helps us out is that we were founded in 2003 and we had one location for 5 years in Palo Alto and in Silicon Valley, where people are very scientific, tech oriented. They expect, real results. They don't want just, something that, is got no science behind it and doesn't actually do anything. So, they're very discerning customer. And so we got to learn in this kind of very difficult environment to get people to come over and become clients. As well, we started in California, which has some of the toughest medical regulatory environment as well. So, safety has always been our North Star. Trust has always been an important part of our culture. And then, incredible customer service. And, Lynn comes from the Seattle area as well. I'm not sure if people know that, but growing up with Nordstrom kind of in the backyard and customer service being the forefront of how things were in that area, she brought that kind of, incredible customer service to the mix as well. So instead of a medical office, people feel intimidated. They don't know what's going to happen. They have to wait for a long, period of time. They don't get any water or any, kind of nice treatment. We just kind of, flip the script. And so, that training set us up for then our continued growth. So after that, we built another clinic in Walnut Creek and then another in Mill Valley. And then we, acquired Caladora in the Seattle area. But little by little, we were just able to continue to spread the SkinSpirit DNA and culture, one location at a time over quite a long period of time. And so it really wasn't until 10 years later, after our original Palo Alto location, that, we expanded in earnest. And even then 5 years after that, in 2018, when I came on board, and we went from 8 clinics at the time to, now over 60 clinics.
Yeah.
So,
but it's been very deliberate. Like you see a lot of these brands that are just like, I want to get to 150 or whatever it is, 40 this year. We're going to be at, and I see why that's tempting, but that's how.
And we were very, very mindful to not approach it that way.
Yeah.
So we knew. And one of the things, for the earlier clinics, when we were doing expansion, when we were kind of also learning how do we expand, properly, we would always talk about SkinSpirit DNA. It's like, and George is a perfect example of this, because we started a clinic in Austin. He had moved from Seattle to Austin, and he was working at SkinSpirit, but he was flying back to Seattle to see patients. And we were like, we got to keep George in the boat. Jen, my first job was like, Jen, find a space in Austin, so we can have George set up shop there. And so, that we realized was a really great way to approach expansion, was put someone with SkinSpirit knowledge and culture into the clinics. And we did that for quite a few clinics after that.
Yeah. And George, you just mentioned that. We were talking about, I asked, how many do you have in Illinois? And he said, well, we've got the one, which we'll talk about, the one in Nordstrom, which I think is so cool. But you said it's provider driven.
Provider first. Yeah, and we're provider first. I mean, that's, so cool. That's always been Lynn's mantra, and it continues to be Jen's and my mantra is we're nothing without our provider base. They,
Absolutely.
They're our business unit, but they're the heart and soul of what we do. And so we're not going to go find a place and then go find providers. We're going to go make sure that we have really good talent to support what we're doing. And that makes the growth. Really
and how does that work? Like in practice? I mean, are you literally trying to find a talented provider that wants to then be a part of kind of the backbone of a new practice?
That truly is our secret sauce, Alex.
If we told you, we would have to kill you, Alex.
Understood. But like,
thank you for asking.
But you're not just going and saying, here's real estate, we're going to open and boom.
That's right. That's right. No, that's
like
not how it is. We, there's a lot that goes into citing a new clinic, and it's not just, this is a nice location and the rent is good, or, there's a lot of good clients in this area, so let's go for it. We think about the holistic experience. And so that includes the customer, the providers, the ambiance, the co-tenants, everything goes into it. And so, we've always been very mindful to just not grow too fast. And the other thing that's really important to us is as we grow, we make sure that the clinics that are already in existence are doing well. So we're not, just piling on, a bunch of new clinics when our model might be broken. And so that goes back to, starting in 2003, as we were able to figure out what our model was, our business model. And a lot of it has to do with the providers, being sort of a key component, and then, bring that forward.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about training and education, because that's why we're here. Number one, I've known you for a while, George, but Academy for Injection Anatomy, the cadaver course that Dr. Surik puts on, and he's going to be here any minute. Can't wait. We'll have to pop in and say hello.
Say hi.
But it's such an incredible course. You've been part of it from the beginning. You guys have been like Cheech and Chong. Maybe not the best reference.
That's probably not the best reference, but I was trainee zero.
Yeah, like you built it.
It was me and Chris and a head.
Yeah.
In Kansas City in the snow.
Yeah.
And I paid him to teach me about ligaments and fat pads and vascular anatomy. And he said, I wonder if other people would want to know this.
Yeah.
I was like,
are you serious?
Oh yeah. That's
Yeah.
where this all starts.
And so you've been kind of the original faculty of AIA.
Well, he just thought I was really weird.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Well,
Which maybe you are.
It might be true. But I care about this stuff, and I care about the provider education.
Yeah.
To the point where, I spend my weekends away from home, like educating people on safe practice of aesthetic tools and instruments.
Yeah.
And, that because I care about that. It's really important to me, to the point where you and I have talked about this before, to have minimum standards for practice. That every industry, every specialty in medicine has minimum practice standards except us. And I really think that hands-on cadaver anatomy is a minimum standard. And if that's the case, then SkinSpirit, as the market leader in medical aesthetics, we need to demonstrate that with our providers, get our providers to 100% with hands-on cadaver anatomy, and make it a requirement for hiring. We hire people that have that, then it becomes a standard, where then the whole industry, the whole category is then, having that as a floor for the minimum safety standards.
Yeah. Well, and so talk about this weekend, because you've got 41, I think 41.
No, we're only supposed to have 40. We have 41. Sorry,
we're gonna have
send me a bill.
41 injectors. It's all SkinSpirit injectors who've never been to the cadaver before. And you're bringing them all in to put them through this incredible injection training, which I think is amazing. Like, that's like the fact that your company is investing this much time and energy and belief and confidence in the injectors to be able to give them this type of knowledge base.
It comes back in spades, though, because it makes them more confident. They're able to treat more effectively, and the customer becomes happier, and happier customers come back more often. I mean, it's a direct line. It's not even.
It's the scale, problem that we talked about, which is if a client, if we're going to be a brand and it's nationwide, every single person needs to associate SkinSpirit with safety and the very best quality care possible, right? Because otherwise it's not going to work to have, 100 locations or whatever. It's got to be, that name has to be synonymous with the best in the business. Yeah. And so that's what we strive for.
Yeah. Well, speaking of names and the best in the business, one thing that you all have done, which I have not seen it yet, but I will get there, and we're gonna do like a tour of it. We're gonna snap some photos. Maybe I'll get a treatment or something. Is y'all have opened in Nordstrom first of all, in New York City, number one, which that's incredible. But then you've also opened the Nordstroms here in Oak Brook, which is not too far from here, which I think needs to be celebrated a little bit more in our industry. Of course it is what it is. Like, I think it's a cool thing, but just from almost a corporate responsibility safety stand, I think it's a really big deal, because our industry has been getting kind of dragged through the mud a bit, not getting the best PR all the time. And Nordstrom is they're not going to pick anybody, right? And the fact that they chose you guys and brought you in, and that you were able to get that together, and that there's that partnership, I think is, number one, it's really incredible. Congratulations. That's so cool.
Thank you.
But also, it's big for the industry. It really, it legitimizes what we're doing. And we have to kind of capitalize on that. And I think, to your point, George, we have to make sure that we don't that moving forward, we all don't step in it, and we've got to build on that, because it's a really cool thing. And I'm curious, how did that all, I mean, no trade secrets, but how did it come about? What's the genesis of that? Anything you can share?
I can speak to that a little bit. Yeah. Well, so Nordstrom, had invested many, many years ago, decades ago, I think, in creating day spas.
Yeah.
And they had massage and pedicure. And, they saw, I mean, Nordstrom is visionary, and they saw that, retail and services could be mixed together, and then that would, drive more business and their clients, more clients, more customers, et cetera. As time has progressed, obviously the day spa is not the same concept that it was, and med spa has really taken over, and customers and clients and patients are all becoming much more savvy. And so they want medical grade products, they want medical grade services. And Nordstrom just realized, if we want to stay ahead of the curve, then we need to get on board with this concept. Now, it's not everybody can do a med spa, right? There's, there's medical lane that has to be navigated, and Nordstrom they don't have any experience in that, and they don't want to, right? Sure. That's just not where they're going. So, so they said, SkinSpirit,
and they
you're in our backyard.
Yeah.
They have a lot of executives that are clients, and they said, we want to work with you. And what would that look like? And so we were able to create a partnership, and we were trialing New York, sort of like, okay, let's go in the big,
like, what is this going to look like?
Manhattan, right? Let's go to the big kahuna and see how that goes. And it was an incredible success, and everybody was just thrilled, on all sides.
Yeah.
And so our design teams, our construction teams, they're all, they started out a little bit butting heads, and it's like, Nordstrom, this is the way we do it. And SkinSpirit's like, well, this is how we do it. And so, there was a little bit of tension there, but over time, we really learned to respect one another and understand what each other brings to the table. And they have been incredible partners. They have very strong loyalty with their client base, and that client base has really adopted SkinSpirit as well.
That's awesome.
We have 4 of them open now.
Do you? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Where are they?
We have Bellevue, Washington, along with
in Bellevue Square.
Chicago, in Bellevue Square, and then our Topanga in Topanga Canyon.
Okay, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
And you said,
and we have a fifth in construction.
Okay, awesome. Where's that one?
In Scottsdale.
Scottsdale.
Yeah.
The Medical Spa Show returns to the Wynn in Las Vegas, April 9th through 12th. Every year, MSS is where the best come to get better. Over 100 educational sessions, a sold-out expo hall filled with more than 200 potential brand partners, and networking events that bring together the most supportive community in medical aesthetics. Friends of the pod can save $100 off their registration today with the promo code INSIDER. That's medicalspashow.com, promo code INSIDER. We can't wait to see you there. Promo code expires April 9th, 2026, and only applies to primary registrants. Cannot be combined with any additional offers. Learn more about this event at medicalspashow.com.
But they obviously must be thrilled with it if they're looking to expand too. So
they love it. And then of course our design, feel is really important to them. So, we line up together that way because we have a luxury brand look and feel. And so it fits in perfectly. I was just at the Oak Brook location today, and it's just, it makes me so proud to just, walk through the doors, walk up the escalator, and then see, SkinSpirit in gold letters in this Nordstrom, because, they don't just take anybody in to be a co-brand with them, only the best of the best, right?
100%.
And so,
that's so cool.
It's
really cool. Congratulations on that. I mean, that's such an accomplishment.
It's a huge milestone.
It is. I feel proud of you guys, even though it's a cool thing.
But you're part of the family, Alex. Yes, you helped us quite a bit.
George, as far as talent goes and recruiting talent, which is always an issue, number one, because there's not enough out there. We're still trying to get more qualified injectors. But you've always been, I think, and this is not just me observing you and talking to you, but from what I've heard, you've always been, number one, very selective, but you've also been very, you've been able to find people, and the team that you've got has always been not only top notch, but you're able to bring folks in who fit the culture. So it's not like you're only getting team members that are solid injectors and who are competent, but you seem to get folks who really want to be part of the SkinSpirit team. There's not a lot of turnover, like which is incredible.
Yeah, we have really low turnover,
which is incredible in this industry.
Yeah.
How do you do that without revealing any trade secrets?
Yeah, the thing about it is like there's an excitement about being part of something, growing, something that people can see how we nurture the future of our leaders at SkinSpirit. It's not a job for people, it's a career for people, and people recognize that there's forward mobility and upward mobility that they can have at their career. I mean, just taking myself as an example, I was a provider in our University of Washington clinic, and then I went over and I expanded our Bellevue clinic, and then I went on from there. Jen was mentioning Austin. Austin was my first official recruiting, and the team that I recruited in Austin was phenomenal. And I kind of hit it out of the park, like almost accidentally, but it was great, and then I've moved on in my career to the point where I am today, and in the company, excited about my personal growth, excited about my professional growth, and excited about the growth that I can bring to SkinSpirit. And other providers see that, and it's infectious. They want to be a part of that. It's not for everybody. SkinSpirit is not a place for everybody. There's some people that have a defined opinion about what corporate med spa is going to look like, and they can't get over that opinion. We are a big corporation, but we're not a corporate med spa. Like it's so funny. We operate like, I don't know.
Well, and George and I interview every single med provider candidate that comes into the company. So
every single one,
and we do it mostly together.
Yeah.
So it was a great partnership.
I'm happy to be hired. Don't have any type of a medical degree.
You don't like the sight of blood, though, at all, Alex.
No, I don't. So I'm gonna need a lot of work.
It's funny because we know we kind of know the right people when we see them, and they're curious, they have a growth mindset. They almost always mention the fact that they want more training. I mean, that is a huge interview question that comes up. It's like, I am here today because I hear that SkinSpirit has amazing training. So please tell me about that. We hear that all the time.
And I say, it's the spirit of SkinSpirit.
Yeah.
It really is.
Fun. For the last couple months, we've been like, well, we're doing a cadaver lab in February.
We'll check your Instagram.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so cool. And I think the fact that people are approaching you about that and talking about training, I think is cool, because that is the most important thing right now.
No, I mean, responsible medical providers, they know that, they've got to stay on top of their game, and they've got to be learning the most advanced techniques if they want to stay relevant.
Well, it's not right now. It's not even about relevance. It's just about
safety, right? Just make sure their clients get the right. Yeah.
At the very base of the legality of it, it's scope of practice. If you're not trained to do the thing you're doing, you're out of your scope.
Yeah. And we're seeing more and more, as it's just this, it's all kind of coming to a head. So we need not only the providers, but we need the corporate brands that are responsible.
Yes.
So
yes.
It's kudos to you all. It's been really cool watching the growth. And I've always been like, what I've been most impressed with Lynn and with all of you is the controlled growth. I'm sure there's been so much opportunity to just go nuts. And just
you have no idea.
You have no idea.
And you could have been at 200 locations by now, probably, or more. And
then closing,
and closing
So what's, with all the things going on with, GLP-1s and peptides and all the whatevers,
there's a lot of noise.
There's a lot of noise.
Yeah.
What do you think's next for SkinSpirit and aesthetics? Where are you gonna?
Well, we always want to be innovative, but to a point and to a kind of controlled point. We have a North Star. We have a North Star that guides us. We can't be everything for everyone, but we can partner with people that are doing things that are outside of what our North Star would be. GLP-1s is a great example. We do GLP-1s in some of our clinics, but GLP-1s have kind of passed by the retail, the retail opportunity, So if we had jumped on that train all in, then we would be
exactly. It's like you can just order it online and get them.
You'd probably be sued by Eli Lilly, right?
Yeah, or something like that.
And then peptides have, there's some people that do peptides really, really well. Our friend Steve Soar does a fantastic job as a naturopathic doctor to doing that kind of stuff.
Yep.
I think that we can learn a lot from that. I think we can partner with a lot from that. I'm not sure one way or the other if there's a business model for that. What I do know is that we have providers that will think about the business, and if there's something that they really want to bring on and they make a good business case for it, that's the thing about us. We're innovative and a lot of entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah.
Where we can make it happen if it makes sense.
Yeah. And we continue to learn from each other. And I think that's one of the, other big benefits of coming onto SkinSpirit is that you have this peer group that's incredible, over 200 medical providers who are the best in the business and have the best training and the knowledge, and they're trainers themselves. And so they're bringing to the table all of this research and training that they've done to help guide us into what new products and services we do bring on ultimately, because we don't want to just, like George says, hop onto the latest trend or fad, without reviewing, does it actually get the results that people want? Is it actually safe?
Yeah.
Is it cost effective? Can people get it for the right cost? So
Yep.
we evaluate all these things. So maybe we go a little slower than our competition on some areas, but that's why our customers trust us.
Yeah.
Like GLP-1 is a great example.
Yeah.
Where GLP-1s create issues for the aesthetic community.
Yeah.
And we don't need to do GLP-1s because we can just take care of the issues that are created, because that's our North Star is like helping people with that, that elective beauty that they're looking for.
I agree. Like if you just stick with, that's right. Like the aesthetics, doing it right. I think that's all you need. And everything else will take care of itself. Well, I appreciate y'all coming on the podcast. And this was your first one, by the way.
Yes, my first. Thank you.
I think you did pretty good.
Thank you. Hopefully you'll ask me back.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see how the video turns
Okay.
out. I mean, George didn't shave. No, it's yes, we'd love to have you, but anytime.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see the trend. I can't wait to see some of my team who's new see the cadaver training, because they're going to be blown away.
Yeah.
Because it's always cool to see people's first time seeing it and seeing Chris in action, Dr. Surik in action, because he's such an incredible instructor. Seeing you guys together, it's going to be a cool thing.
It's going to be sort of a watershed moment in a lot of ways. You know, I mean, for this many providers at SkinSpirit to get this training all at one time, that's so incredible. Cool. I mean, just think about the influence that's going to have across the whole company.
Yeah.
They're going to be so jazzed and they'll be able to talk about it with, their clients, right?
We're going to be all over the gram tonight. This is post. We're going to be hearing this post that, but we're going to be all over Instagram. So the gram, that's what we call it in the biz.
The gram. Over the gram. All over the talk.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, again, thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. And we'll definitely have you back. We'd love to have anytime you want to come here and hang out. We'd love to have you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Alex.
Of course,
Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you to our producer, Madeline Moeller, marketing content coordinator, who organizes the podcast schedule and guests and provides topics and talking points. Audio and video editing, voiceover, graphics, and platform management is provided by myself, Derek Hawk, digital marketing supervisor. Our themes are provided by Maka Music. Thank you for watching or listening to the Medical Spa Insider podcast. Please follow or subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for future episodes. Ratings and reviews are greatly appreciated. For more information about the American Med Spa Association, visit americanmedspa.org. Reference to any specific product or entity does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation by AmSpa. Views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance in the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity that they represent. AmSpa provides this podcast as a full service for educational purposes only. This podcast does not constitute legal advice, nor does it establish an attorney-client relationship. Please consult with an attorney on your legal issues. And as always, thank you for listening to the Medical Spa Insider. Remember, compliance is cool.